We
The
can
concept,
keep operating and we won't, we won't need to borrow money to
the concept
keep
is
the
to
lights
keep
on.
more in the unexpected, unexpended fund balance, so we don't need the 10.
Correct.
Thank you.
The way it was years ago, June Burlington, she was a very thrifty treasurer, and she would go and she would take out a loan from the bank, and she would actually end up making more money off taking that loan out than the interest that was charged to her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, she was very thrifty.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Is the only line concerned Avatar the licensed software under text messaging? Or is there something else?
Avatar should be under the tax appraisal. Who's handling the licensed software?
I think that's under tax collector? Or the 2600?
Hang on, hang on.
Yeah.
So the tax collector's $2,800 under licensed software, that's what you're asking, Jake?
Well, I'm trying to understand, what does the town pay them? Yeah, so is the licensed software, what else does the town pay?
Okay, so, yes, under the tax collector, that is Avatar.
Okay,
I think there's licensed software in the selectmen's budget. So I know we pay for QuickBooks. I should grab our budget.
We should
it's
have
4,500 for licensed software.
2,500.
Is it? Oh,
Oh, there's two lines actually. Could we specify what you want?
So doesn't both tax collector and selectmen do Avatar software? Or did we cancel the software from the selectmen? So we just call
we
it-
pay for one license that's good for up to 5 users. So I think it falls under the tax collectors because she does the billing and everything.
So what is the licensed software? There are two lines under, separate lines of licensed software under Board of Selectmen.
Give me a sec, I'm trying to remember, sorry.
Cindy, wouldn't a line item help with that? Wink, wink.
Well, yeah, we also have the transaction details, so it should say, that's what I'm looking for. The only problem is that there's 14 other things that are in the
Right.
selectmen's budget, so you gotta dig through it to find it. I wanna say one is QuickBooks. You would think as many times as I go through this, I could remember this crap. Sorry.
It's towards the end. And the licensed software lines are both in the middle of the page.
They're not listed out separately here. So the first licensed software is probably somewhat mislabeled. That would be our contract with Civic Plus for the website. That falls under the executive portion.
That's the town's website? Or what is it?
Selectmen. Yeah. Under the selectmen's budget, within the executive section, that licensed software is for the annual support from Civic Plus for the town website.
And the second line would be QuickBooks?
Yes.
So does the town only pay Avatar a year 2,600 under the tax collector?
For using their software, yes.
That's the software. So where would it be, what the
Avatar for the assessing itself.
Yeah,
That's in the selectmen's budget under reappraisal of properties.
That's like a certain percentage of the 5-year contract that
Yes,
is awarded every year.
Yeah.
So that's like 1/5 approximately of
Right.
that kind, okay.
well, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, so that, repair the
Not-
properties.
No, not, it's not technically 1/5, because it's a certain amount for 4 years that's consistent. And then the 5th year, when they do the
Okay.
town-wide, then it
That's-
jumps.
That's good. All right, I get you. Yeah.
so that's my, so this line does not include the increase within the contract.
No. What we talked about with the capital reserve account, right, no, it does not, that's money we're setting aside, so when that bill does come due in the 5th year, we can put it in, we don't have to put it in our budget even then, because it'll be, or do we, will you use it as a separate warrant article, is that how it's done? Pull it out of the capital reserve, yeah,
So come 2025, then.
yes,
There's a renewal of the contract that requires the town to pay that sum of money,
yes.
if the town chooses to continue with that.
The contract we have right now is through 2025, so we will have to pay that to them in 2025, and we'll have to either find a new assessor after that or renew the contract, yes.
So why wasn't that money just included in the yearly expense?
Because if we included it in the yearly expense, knowing that it was a bill not due for 4 more years, we would have to encumber the funds every year. And I don't know that we could even, I think 3 years is the max for encumbering.
Yes.
Yeah, so we could not encumber funds for the amount of time it would take to get that 5th year bill, which is why we set up the capital reserve account, so that,
So,
wait, that's right.
It is?
Oh.
That's all. She worked for, that's bad, town clerk, that's something.
Right, this is part of the problem, the town clerk's budget is embedded in the selectmen. I know, I despise this system that
Yes.
we use for accounting,
Yes.
it's terrible.
It's confusing.
It is very confusing.
What, actually, what's the subscription that the selectmen?
It's magazines that come in,
It's also memberships. I think like our NHMA annual membership comes from there.
Would it be possible to relabel these?
Oh,
Or to make
God
it
love you,
hard?
Jake. This is Maureen and I have been working on this for months. Someday. Yes. Our biggest holdup right now is the computers that we have to use. So it's step 3 or 4 in the process. I won't ask you to approve phase 1 without knowing what phase 4 is, but
We're getting there.
yes.
the health agencies includes the visiting nurses, the,
Yes, whatever the, selectmen
Yeah.
the
decides.
senior center and the other one, whatever it was there.
Right,
You know, what-
Well, it's not the same every year.
right.
We get
They-
a lot of requests from
Right.
different
Okay,
They make the
associations.
decision
and
on
The select
that.
board decides which ones they want to give the money to,
okay.
and how they want to divide it. Sorry, Cindy, I spoke for you.
It's quite all right, thank you. Back to Jake's question, advertising and regional dues. Is that, wait, is that subscriptions? Or did I lose my place here? I'm sorry.
That's different. That's,
Those ads and regular.
That is a separate thing.
yeah.
All right, never mind, carry on. I'm going order on here. Yes. Subscriptions. Oh, subscriptions is only and exclusively LexisNexis. So updated law books.
Is that a town only resource, or can I use that too under subscriptions?
If they're in the selectman's office, You know, as a matter of fact, the ones that came in this year are still sitting in the box in front of the bookshelf because nobody's known what to do with them. We do have all of the New Hampshire statutes along the top bookshelf in there, and I'm not sure, I think these are updates to those, I think.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so you paid for them too. I mean, taxpayers paid for them, so.
He's young though, he can just use his computer.
That's true.
Only if he has a hotspot.
What is the town going to do with consolidated if they can just continue to say they don't have a port?
The-
There's nothing we can do.
Nothing really.
They're the only player in town, that's all, there's nothing we can do. I mean, I guess we could probably go to, some satellite service or something, but nobody's gonna stomach that bill.
Mhm.
We should make him sit at the table next time.
There are budget committee openings.
You gonna say something?
Pardon?
Are you going to say something?
Yes,
Yes,
yes, we want to say something,
you are, okay.
yes.
Eventually, apparently not just yet.
Hmm? I mean, I don't want it to fall by the wayside because we neither of us speak up.
We won't forget.
I'm sorry, but I don't know, when am I supposed to say something and why is nobody saying anything?
Because we're sitting here, we know what the budgets are. So it's up to the people in the audience to ask their questions or anything.
Make your proposal.
Right, and we will not make a decision on the proposal until after we close the public hearing and we reconvene the budget meeting itself.
Okay, so the public meeting is closing when?
When I say I've closed it,
Okay,
I closed it.
When you all run
Sorry.
out of questions.
oh, okay, I see, thank you.
Gary?
Could you go over the The dispatch stuff again, I'm still confused on how that works. We have under the
Make adjustments.
selectmen's budget, we have Hanover dispatch,
Right.
21,000, and then under
Police dispatch.
police dispatch on the police, and also under fire.
Yeah,
How are those all related or not?
They were, and I believe what you're looking at is the way they were divided in 2022.
no,
No?
no, let me clarify this one. So, the Hanover dispatch number in the selectmen's budget,
Is,
started at 21, it's actually 25,557 when we found out what the correct number was. That is strictly for Hanover dispatch, for their services to us. There is still dispatch in the ambulance, fire, and police
Right.
budgets for other peripheral dispatch related charges. For example, the fire department has what they call active 911. People can get, they get basically a text message on their cell phone. So that is still considered dispatch, and that is still within the fire department, because that is a charge that they can have some control over. The selectmen felt the Hanover dispatch fee is necessary for the town. So it doesn't matter if part of it could be attributed to police, part of it could be attributed to fire or ambulance, because Hanover's gonna charge us regardless. There's nothing they can do to change that. But when it comes to like the active 911, that is a per user charge. So if the fire department has 10 members that are using that active 911, then that charge comes out of, that they're budgeting for that charge. If they're paying for 10 people to have it and only 3 of them ever bother responding, that's their problem, they're wasting their money out of their budget, you know what I'm saying? So that's where we thought leaving it in, that kind of thing in their budget made sense.
So that's not paid directly to Hanover?
Correct.
It's done through some other
Exactly,
agency or
Exactly.
state thingy,
Yeah.
whatever that is.
exactly. I know that with police, part of the dispatch fee in there, or part of it, the budget line item dispatch is, includes an air card that they need for the laptop and the cruiser, or laptops, however, whatever it is, so that's part of that line item.
All right. I kind of sort of get it, yeah.
Yeah, and you're right, and this is something that Maureen and I started working on, but it's just, until, I feel like until we either get QuickBooks working right for us or something, I don't know how far we can go, but this is part of something that we've been trying to get done too, is, because it's confusing, and there's line items that say one thing in this department and something else in another department, and
Who pays what to whom and what.
Yeah, exactly.
all that yeah.
right, and then we printed out with using the DRA's, nomenclature, and we're lost again because they call it something completely different, and yeah,
Okay.
we
thank you.
really could. We will try to do better with the consistency and labeling, but
Okay.
Am I the public? Do I speak now?
I think when you walked through the door, you were public, you know.
Okay. Am I interrupting anyone?
No?
Okay, well, I wish Andrew were here, but he can't be here, so,
Do the best you can.
oh, I
We'll understand.
thank you. And I made copies of these, but I'm sure you've seen that before.
could you please speak up, Karen? I can't hear you.
Oh, sure. Do you want,
Yeah.
and I have more copies, I just have so many papers. And it out.
Here, you can take this thing.
Oh, there it is, thank you. Okay,
That's what I'm saying, Mr. Chair. I'm fine, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I have,
Oh, you do?
yeah, well, it's on here.
starting with media. We can't always depend on my uncle to donate $1,000 for media, like he did, last year. And, the minimum needed is $100 a month. That's for DVDs and books, which is like a couple of DVDs or one, and maybe 4 books. We need to keep new material coming in, so it doesn't get to be like it was in the old days when there were books from the 1940s and 1950s. In the 80s. And we need to pay for the downloadable books, which are about $500 a year. And so-called catalog, which has to do with taking out books and connects us to the state library and allows us to do interlibrary loans, is, I think, about 300. So we would appreciate more than 1,200. We would like 2,100. 1,200 for books and DVDs and magazines, 500 for the downloadable books, 300 for the strangely named Tiny Cat catalog that has to do with taking out books. That comes up to $2,000. And I guess another $100 because books just keep getting more expensive like everything else does. Should I go on to electricity? Or do you want to talk about this?
Say your thing.
Okay.
What are we talking about?
The
Sorry.
library.
She's talking about the library budget.
Yeah, and in behalf of the library, or?
Yeah. She's,
You are the library trustee.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I'm not, I've never had to say something before, hardly. Okay, electricity right now is running at about $110 a month, which comes up to $1,320 for the year. So we need at least $1,300 for electricity, not $1,000. Wages were about $13,000 last year, and so we need at least that much this year. And lastly, Sarah has agreed to pay the portable toilet company directly.
Just to clarify, that's not a decision that Sarah, the administrative assistant, made. I don't know, that she's gonna pay a bill. Just,
I'm saying she just turned around.
Out of the pocket?
right? Yeah, yeah.
You didn't know
Someone's
that,
getting
please.
beat, you know.
So the budget committee agreed to that, and so thank you, because we get so tired of talking about porta potties. And lastly, RSA 202 says that it's the town's job to provide adequate financial support and adequate library services, which certainly includes having the lights on, paying the staff, and purchasing media. And I think that's all I can remember to say. Thank you. Oh, and the amount, the reason the media on that 2023 proposed library trustees budget sheet that I passed out is only $484, when in actuality it was 930 something, plus the downloadable books, and the Tiny Cat has got something to do with, just a minute, the gross basis budget, and maybe Catherine could explain what I'm trying to say better than I can. Catherine?
What? Are you talking to me?
She asked you to talk about gross basis.
Yes. Can you please explain why the $484 that we spent for media, when we really spent 930 something, plus the downloadable books and the Tiny Cat? Can you please explain what Andrew explained to you, because I'm not that.
He didn't explain that to me. We just got the 953 and possibly 139. I'm really looking at in the fact that if you're going to have a library, it's got to be functional, and you just take away all the funding away from buying all the things that the library needs. And the funding, were you saying that the $1,000 donation was put towards that last year?
Yes,
So it
like
reduced,
in December, I think.
it
or
reduced
November.
for the sort of funds that was different.
Pardon me?
The source of funds was different than from funding it from taxation. If
Right.
it was a donation that reduced the cost,
Yes, my uncle in Kentucky donated that $1,000.
so that took $1,000 out of the expense on media. Is that what you're telling me?
Sorry, the expense on what?
Media. I thought you said his contribution went towards media.
Yes.
Okay, so that reduced your expenditure on media that came from taxation by £1,000.
Right,
Am I correct or not? I mean,
yes,
I'm now getting totally confused.
well, yes,
My
you're
battery's
right.
low.
All right, anyway, so there was extra funding that came in,
Is that why you're
which is not repeated this year.
We take it.
So the library is essentially asking for an additional $2,400 to be put into their budget, in addition to the $800 that comes from alternative sources.
Thank you.
So no, we'll discuss it later.
So we just now take that a request and leave it and discuss it when.
After the hearing?
Can we go back to talking about quiet toilets now?
Yes, we can. What is up with the portable toilets? Who's doing it?
Andrew asked me the other day when he brought in the petition warrant article if there was a reason that the library could not bring in the bill from JVC and have a check cut out of their operating budget, just like everybody else's invoices, to which I said, don't see any reason why not.
Because JVC refused to service them without payment.
Well, and
Yes,
perhaps,
because the
perhaps
trouble-
if the bill's coming into the selectman's office and the selectmen are paying it rather than the trustees farting around with it for 3
Right.
months,
Yeah.
maybe then they'll take
Because
care
that
of it.
is the problem, is these library trustees received the bills and never took and paid them for 3 months. And the guy's out there looking, he's providing service, and he's saying, where's my money? And he took it and asked the librarian, and the librarian's feeling,
Blame her. Just blame her because she's the ineffectual treasurer.
that's,
Also, that JDC, they didn't cooperate with, they weren't forthcoming with information, they wouldn't return calls to Kate, she was trying to
Yeah.
figure out what was what, and they just,
I, I have a hard problem,
And, you know, I probably messed up too, because I,
with what you're saying about JBC, because I'm in touch with him all the time. He does the
they
rec
don't
department.
like us.
He
Oh,
does
sorry,
it,
what?
he does the rec department tours. I can give him a call, I can leave him a message, and that night he calls me right back.
Well,
He has a hard time when he's sitting there after he's presented the bill, and 3 months goes by, and these bills just keep adding up, and nobody wants to take and send him a check like he's asked.
Yeah. So anyway, so long story short, Andrew asked if there was a reason why those bills couldn't come to the selectman's office. And just the same way we take care of the heating fuel
Right,
and
they
the
could.
electric, it could just be, and I said I couldn't imagine there was a reason why not.
Right,
Why,
exactly.
why wouldn't we want to have happy vendors that actually take care of the things that get done and not make Grafton look like people who you can't trust to pay a bill?
But that has been an ongoing
Yes.
problem with the library, is they will not bring a bill to the town office to get paid. They hold it and then say, oh, we gotta take it, pay it.
Well, they do have a process whereby they approve all invoices at their monthly meeting, so I see where that's
But,
a delay, which, yeah, it's a bad process, yeah.
Hindsight isn't solve the problem, go forward, and we fixed the way to solve it now. The
also,
question is what is actually the cost, because I'm still confused.
the actual cost for the toll is $35 a month.
but the rec committee, the rec field toilets were being charged a different price than the library
Right.
porta potty, and Kate was trying to find out what was going on.
Right, and I straightened Kate out on that over a year ago.
Well, I probably did something wrong, and I apologize.
And they are still charging her 2 different charges.
Yeah.
Over this summer, I saw the bills, there's 2 different charges,
$75, wasn't it?
34 and
What
56.
was 50? I thought it was
Well,
35 and
the thing being is, I think you're gonna have to go back and look at those charges, because I think once it started coming fall, he did have an additional charge on there for winter stuff to add to the toilets so that they didn't take and freeze and damage the toilets.
We knew they had something in the cold weather, but I think it still didn't, I don't think that may not have been the problem.
I don't know. I had spoke to Kate over a year ago, and I had it all straightened out because what was going on was the library was jumping from this portable toilet cleaner to this one, to that one, and everything else. And they were creating problems with every portable toilet cleaner that they had.
Well, we don't need to create problems, but we also would like to stop talking about toilets for the rest of our lives.
Well, the thing being is, in your budget, if you go with the $35 toilet,
But apparently he's not amenable to doing that at this point, unless, have you talked him into that?
I'm not gonna talk to him because I've tried to talk to the library trustees before on it, and they wanted nothing to do with whatever I had to say.
Didn't you find a new vendor?
Yes, at 100 and something, almost $200 a week.
A week?
Yes, it was
Well,
It was quite a bit.
It was accepted the
Is that the
24th for the
$75
annual
instead
charge,
of the
which comes to
35?
170 a month.
75 every time, every
every
week
week.
to clean it, and
Yes,
$900 for a new toilet.
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the total cost with the new vendor, I believe, would be $2,000 a year, which sounds like a lot, but,
It's,
nobody's cheaper, and it's not cheaper to buy
Isn't the rec field the 600?
a porta potty.
I believe
It
that.
is cheaper to buy a portable toilet because I took it, I went, because Andrew sat there and said he couldn't locate one, and it was $930, and I could have had it delivered in 10 days to the library.
Well, Andrew said at this time of year, you cannot get
It won't won't do anything
porta
till the
potty.
summer, so that's according to
What?
that he won't do anything.
And,
But the thing being is, she's saying that Andrew's saying that he couldn't take and locate a portable toilet. But I can go
Well,
right,
that may be fine, that you've solved the problem, but we can't spend hours at a budget committee.
but the thing being is, I'm answering her question, so
But
let me finish answering her question.
Could you just explain to her what we have discussed, and we solved the problem when Andrew was here,
Right,
and we don't know what he's relayed to you, but Ed's gonna tell you what happened at the meeting.
okay,
I can go on and contradict what Andrew is taking and telling you. I can go on my computer right now, order a toilet for $930.
Not in here, you can't.
At the hot spot.
Yeah, on Jay's hotspot.
he said there are no companies around will have a toilet for sale until maybe June.
Well, why don't we let Ed call
Andrew
tomorrow
told
and see
me
if he
that
can
too.
find you one?
I can't,
And why do you think he's lying?
because I went on and I located the portable toilet and for $930, and they told me 10 days they would have it delivered here.
Can I ask a stupid question? We did not change that line, and why are we sitting here
Right.
arguing about it?
Because she bringing it up and saying she's gonna increase this.
The cleaning.
Hey, I found a pork roll,
Well, maybe they deal differently with you.
Oh, yeah?
$789.
Oh, wow.
Is it used?
No.
And that's less than what I quoted, but Andrew can't find it.
Well, isn't that
But
what?
if we have our own and someone damages it,
You know, if you'd only put a bathroom in there, we wouldn't have to talk about porta potties.
Right.
yeah, let's put a
Can we move
lid
on?
on it.
But if you don't if you rent a portable toilet and somebody decides to damage it, that toilet company is gonna take it and go and charge the library for the damage to that toilet. So there's a big difference between owning a portable toilet versus renting one.
Thank
Well, right now, we are in the situation
Well,
that we've got a toilet which is rented and we need to use it
So
4
we'll use
times
it.
a week. What?
I said, you can go use it then.
The library's portrait isn't rented.
No,
Owned by the library.
it's owned right now.
There's
The
his
library
own,
owns
there's
it.
his own?
Is it owned?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
Anson Smith donated it.
yes.
oh.
Anson and Jen Smith donated it to the town.
When was it? I'm
10 years
totally,
ago.
my time frame on this thing is completely off. If you talked to Kate a year ago, was the toilet donated then?
Yes.
Yeah. They still
That toilet's been donated to the library for over 3 years.
That's like 5 to
So
8 years.
then somebody has to maintain it for them, and
Right.
they're gonna overcharge them because it's not done.
Exactly.
So what are you saying? What is the solution?
Is for the trustees to make sure that the bill gets turned into the town on as soon as it comes in, it gets turned in so it gets paid. Instead of sitting in the trustees'
We've
hands.
just solved that problem by having Sarah pay it, so this is moved.
But you,
All right,
I'm
enough of
moving
this
on.
crap.
Question
Yes.
is,
Yeah, no, this crap. Put a lid on it. Close the lid.
Can I make a motion to adjourn?
any other questions?
Can you go to?
Gary?
Just one,
Nobody
the
will.
difference between the highway department budget, the line item paving and patching, and warrant article 13,
Right.
60,000.
What that is, Gary, is years prior, paving was all included in the highway department budget. So what happens is with any department in town, even though if it's not a warrant article, they can expend that money any way they want. So to ensure that
Oh, okay, all right.
paving got done, it became a warrant article. That $60,000 is not enough to cover that 2 miles of paving. So what we did was we made them say, all right, put vast majority of the paving money on a warrant article, because then the taxpayers know that that warrant article passes, that they have to spend that money only on pavement. They can't spend it anywhere else.
Okay, all right, okay, thank you.
And the paving and patching within the budget would only cover really patching that really needs to be done.
Right, yeah, it wouldn't cover
So there'd
much.
still be something to take care of patching if the warrant article didn't pass.
Just some occasions there and there, kind of.
Yeah.
All right, good, thanks.
I thought you went for pizza.
At 8:20, where could you go get pizza?
It's gotta be
Nobody
on
from
for
it.
breakfast at this rate.
Any other questions?
No questions, Jim? You're done?
All right.
I got a question about the toilets.
Take it outside.
So I make a motion to adjourn the public meeting and reopening the meeting up to the budget meeting to go over any numbers that the public may have raised or that we have some requests for. All those in favor say aye. Nays, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. So I think I'll start with Cindy.
Why are you doing that? Stop it, sorry. Keep moving everything around.
Jim, do you want your budget?
No, I need to make sure I have the numbers I need.
She's not ready.
It's right here. I'm good. I'm good. You want to do I have selectmen, police,
Whatever you
library,
want,
and
they can do
ambulance.
first.
Okay. Simple one. Let's do simple ones first. Police. He got the bill for Twin Bridge. I'm sorry. He got the bill for the computer, service for the year. Which is another thing that he has in his dispatch line item, which probably isn't the best place for it, but that's where it is. So the bill from Twin Bridge for computer support, computer service for next year is $383, higher than it was this year.
383?
$383. So he
Sorry,
asked if
which
we
line item again?
dispatch.
Dispatch,
Yeah.
383.
So he asked if we could add 383, which my math, if I did it right, would make that dispatch line item 8,905, and put the bottom line total at 209,992. But please double check my math.
8905 for that line item?
Yes.
Yep, not bad. And 383 added to 209,992?
Yes.
Is that the only thing, Cindy?
In police, yes.
Oh, okay.
And that was under where?
Dispatch fees,
And how much?
$383. So that brings it to 8509. No, 8905, excuse me, I transposed that. And the bottom line is 209,992.
Is that right? 8522 plus 383.
You've got a calculator, too.
I've already done the math. Somebody needs to check my math.
I did
please.
check your
Yeah.
math.
All right, and I'm good. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And you, the numbers were what?
Oh, the bottom line you want? 209,992.
992.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I keep hearing 899.
I have a, it's Somebody want to second Cindy's motion to increase the capital with dispatch fees?
Did you get a motion, Bart?
Yes.
I made a motion. Yeah, that was
Okay,
a
I'll
motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye,
Aye.
opposed say nay.
Thank you. Oh, this is gonna be a tough one. All right, so let's do the selectmen's. I have several to change.
I can't add that many numbers. I can't add that many numbers.
1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 to change. It shouldn't be too bad. Within the financial administration portion of the budget, the wages line item, increased to 7,000 to cover the extra we agreed to pay Sue Smith to do the town report.
From the 5,800 that you were talking?
Yes, from 5,800 to 7,000, so we're adding 1,200 to it.
7,000, how much?
Even. 7,000 even.
Even.
Under general government buildings, we would like to add $250 to phone, fax, internet, to total $3,250. Because we would like to do away with the fax machine, and that's what an e-fax service would cost us
General fund.
for a year.
What was the figure again?
So we would add $250 to the $3,000 allocated for phone, fax, internet, so it'd be $3,250.
Now, if you get rid of the fax, and
Well, and this is what we're not sure of. So, because we haven't gone down the road of ordering it yet, or even looking to get, we just researched what the cost would be. Because this plays into the whole, can we get a new computer system that works with the rest of the world on Windows? Because we can't do the e-fax with the machine she's got now, so that has to be replaced first. So we are not sure if what that e-fax service has would provide us with a new number. And then we could get rid of the consolidated, which would certainly offset it. And then some. Or if we would have to use the same number. So that's why we didn't ask to take it out of the phone yet, but if you wanted to not add the 250 and hope that that works out, I would understand. I'm only here to make a request. The next one would be under health insurance. My numbers were slightly off, and what did I do? We need to add $5,174.
So what's the number?
I have 46,556. Yes?
fax,
Yes. Yeah, 46,556. And then the last one is reappraisal property. Remember we asked why somebody asked why it was lower this year? And I thought it was because we didn't have to pay for mapping. It was a 3-year contract, so we have to add the mapping back in.
Oh, okay.
So that's adding 2,665, 2,665.
65.
Yeah, the mapping. Or reappraisal rather. Which I got 19,240. Sandy's shaking her head. I'm So my
Yeah,
math
I
must
got
be
that.
right, yeah. So with those 4 changes, my new total is $349,075.
349.
075. And if you'd like me to say that's the motion, I will. If you want to discuss it first or make, not agree with it.
Weren't you gonna include money in there for, Sarah's new computer?
We're hashing that out, and the deeper we get into it, the more we're seeing that we may not go down the road we thought we were going to. So we might, at this point, it seems easier to just do whatever we're gonna do out of ARPA money
Okay.
than come to the voters with a half-ass plan. Okay, so I'll make a motion then to make those changes in,
349,
Thank you.
Who, Cindy made the motion,
Yeah.
second,
Yes.
Warren?
All those in favor say aye,
Aye.
opposed say nay.
thank you. And this one's gonna be a pain in the butt, and I truly apologize for this. Apparently, what we've done with the ambulance budget has been nothing but trouble all year, and I found out 2 weeks ago. By having the ambulance fuel line item coming out of their revolving account rather than the operating budget,
Squeeze it all thing up.
it's a myriad of extra paperwork and checks to be cut and everything else, because instead of the selectmen just approving it, it goes to Sue. We just gotta cut a check out of the revolving account, so if there's a way we can move the fuel up into the operating budget and move something else down.
Right, I think that doesn't need to go through the budget committee. Is it-
Well,
is there-
there's nothing, if there was something I could say, this equals that, and just swap them, that'd be fine, but there's not, unfortunately. The fuel line item we have at, what, 2,500
On the ambulance budget.
on the ambulance budget. Am I looking at the right thing? Is that
Yes,
right?
you are.
Yes, you can.
So it's 2550 if you added heating, fuel, and utilities and phone from,
But we can't
It's all
do utilities and
$50.
phone, because that puts us right back in the same situation, because we
Oh,
cut
okay.
one check to those utilities. Yeah.
That's fine, just take it out of vehicle repairs and maintenance. It all doesn't have to come out of that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see that being really confusing. I see that being you know what I mean?
I know, but man, you're gonna throw the numbers all off.
I know. I know. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Once
Move
you start-
supplies and vehicle and maintenance down, or a portion of vehicle and maintenance?
Yeah, you can do that.
Or you think it's easier just do part, well, maybe it's easier just do part of vehicles and maintenance?
Yeah, that's just one line item, you
Just make vehicle repairs and maintenance, what, 3,500? And move fuel up? I wish somebody would have told me earlier, I never put the budget together this way. Does that work out?
don't quote me yet.
That takes care of it.
All right. If that's okay with everybody here, we'll make it work on our end.
Yeah,
So my motion is to reduce vehicle repairs and maintenance to 3,500 in the operating budget and add 2,500 of that same line item to the revolving account, and then put fuel,
Yep.
add fuel, $2,500 in the operating budget.
Yep.
And that leaves our bottom line numbers
Let's
the
say,
same.
right, yeah,
Yeah. So I guess I really don't even,
don't even have to go there.
So which number is the same, the total?
The numbers, the totals are staying the same, it's just we move.
Well, we're moving things around inside.
Right,
In both sections.
yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Oh, that wasn't too painful.
No, that wasn't nearly as painful as I thought it would be.
All right, I have one, for Parks and Rec.
Which part?
Can you have that in a long one?
Yeah.
I am sorry about that. It was a complete oversight.
So what I'd like to do is increase the rec department budget by 4,000. I had requested a line item, a warrant article for 4,000. The insurance company has come down and inspected the playground. And there's two jumpies, bouncies, whatever you want to take and call, that have been over the years broke, so that right now they're a safety hazard. And it's $4,000 to replace those two, put two new ones in there. And
Did they come back down this year, the insurance company?
no, I'm so.
This is old.
Yeah,
Because I asked Rick Alpers and he said he couldn't find anything.
it's in the town office, the report.
Yeah, we lost our, we know where to go to find
Right,
things.
exactly. But I believe that was the last of the items that the insurance company was on us
Okay.
for.
So you're adding $4,000.
I would like.
Will
to-
they reduce our premiums when we,
They should.
okay.
As a new line item,
Yes.
What are you calling it?
that's fine.
Jumpies.
Jumpies, yeah, bouncies, whatever you want to call them.
Two new bouncies.
So you're to 76, 70.
Yeah. But that would, next year, that would come back down to, it's just that because the warrant article didn't make it on,
So either way, the taxpayers would be paying for it.
Right,
if it
yes.
were approved as a
Yeah.
warrant.
So that's 7,600.
yeah,
700.
yeah,
instead.
76, 70.
yeah.
Did you say 73, 70?
No, 76, 7.
Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion to,
Second.
all those in favor say aye,
Aye.
opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Now I think we have one last one, and
Isn't that called the library?
what, gave you that clue.
I can't find the term.
Yeah. It is still a line item in the selectmen's budget, so I don't know.
Seeing we were waiting on the budget, I'll ask the library trustee, whatever happened to the final report? I don't think we received the,
Final report of expenses.
yeah,
It's right here. Is that what you're talking about?
from the library. See-
Oh,
Sorry, what?
We haven't received a budget report, not a budget report, expenditure report from the library.
Is that the, transaction, oh,
No, not the transaction detail, the one that you handle only with all the accounts that the library holds.
for the year, or?
No, every month you're supposed to turn in
Was it a quarterly? Was it every month or
Oh,
quarterly?
quarterly, but it's the end of the year.
Right, right.
We did get one, was that not the end of the year?
Did you give me this
December
number?
just ended.
Did you pass around those quarterly reports?
oh, is that what it is?
This?
Yeah, does it say fourth quarter?
Oh, no, I didn't know you had several copies of it.
Oh, sorry.
This is just the fourth quarter, it's not the annual numbers.
Yeah, I requested that a certain someone print the annuals, but they don't seem to have been printed.
But this is just,
Well, you see, you saved the other quarterly reports, and you
You all right, Leaf?
Saying that.
Yeah, my ass is getting atrophied.
I put some numbers here.
Sitting too long.
Did you tell me
Yeah,
the
no
number?
doubt.
The heating fuel bill was
Stand up and get a bloody nose.
977. Because that came from you, I think.
yes.
It's also.
Where's the doing drugs?
Oh,
Expenditures.
It's too much paper.
So you're looking for January through December.
This is
This
supposed to
is
turn
what-
in every quarter. We never
Yes.
got it.
I remember getting one not too long ago, so, but,
Too long ago, had the, back in September.
was it that long ago?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I George, do you need to?
This is,
Playing with your hand there.
Yes.
this only gives you the wages and all that.
Not that big.
No, that's a vitamin, you don't want that. It's for women over 50, I don't think it'll help you.
Oh, I might try.
The reds are ibuprofen, the whites are Tylenol.
Blue belt, they were blue belt.
I don't know.
E-fax can be simply sent by email, doesn't require any special anything.
Oh,
It needs to be programmed, but it doesn't require anything new, unless you're trying to keep the old fax line with the copper wires and then you need a device to do that back and forth.
yeah, I'm not sure, because whatever Sarah looked up had different rates for different number of pages per month,
Oh,
so I'm not sure exactly what that was.
And Scott was fixing the computers, what was that? At least 5 years ago, he had looked into it. And where it was brand new, people worked time, weren't really into doing that as
Yeah.
far as being
Oh, yeah.
non-hackable, I guess.
Yeah.
So Cindy,
Scott's got a lot of concerns about
Oh, yeah.
security that,
the computer in each series desk has a firewall on it, yeah.
Yeah, well,
The computer that's behind and Sue uses, inside the the computer itself, there's a hard drive that's just sitting there.
underneath,
And,
underneath the computer?
the computer itself.
Oh, okay.
Scott would replace the hard drive, but leave the old one inside for
oh,
like a backup.
really?
So
Right.
I don't know what's on it right now, but there's one that's attached to here, and there's one just sitting inside in an empty bag.
Interesting.
I
That's what
told,
he told me at the dump the other day.
I told Sarah that tonight when I was, this afternoon when I was there, that when he backed up yearly, he would back up the
Yeah, he
computer.
was
So
perfect.
he thought that there should also be one under, in Bonnie's computer,
One of the rest of us last.
Yeah, the one that's in
the
the
one
back.
that's gone, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it probably was.
yeah,
But no, whatever it says,
no,
here too, but the one that's in the selectman's office, there might be a backup hard drive in both computers.
So, yeah, getting to the library one, I did not ever receive a total of what she was asking for an increase.
Oh, you didn't get the, well, okay, we'll come back to that in 1 second. This, I apologize, this is what I asked someone to print the annual report for me because I don't have a printer, and, I mean, it's been handed in to Sarah and everything, but I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, but however, there is the director for the whole year report.
Right, no, we don't need that.
Okay, and, okay, the increase. Thought it was done.
You just wanted everything to go back to what your proposal was, right?
Yes, thank you.
Yep. So that's gonna be exactly what's in this selectmen's line items. She talked about media, she wanted back at 2,100, electric back at 1,300, and wages back at 1,450.
I myself have a lot of problems with it when I started looking at what was spent and everything else. They had a $19,874 budget, and there's $3,000 left in their budget that they didn't spend. So how do you give them more money? That's my thing.
I thought zero
And then when I look
based
at,
budget, that you went
At the
for-
sheet that you gave me,
Yeah.
the amount spent as of 12/30 was $16,803, right?
I'm looking for mine.
That's what I have on the bottom of that sheet that you had just gave me.
Okay.
And-
Big copy.
When I look at the selectmen's report on how much money was spent, the selectmen's report says $16,902.16. So that, where's that?
making the library function? Or do you want to just penalise them because they was bad account?
So after last year, when they did the strategic plan, the selectmen agreed that it was worthwhile to increase the budget because they had a plan in place. They didn't, not only didn't follow the plan, they didn't spend the money again. So I agree with that in that respect. I mean, specifically the electric line item, I think the selectmen were correct at $1,300, but given that there is still so much extra in other line items,
Exactly,
Yeah.
yes.
it's not a punishment thing, it's, you have this money year after year after year that you don't
That don't
use.
spend.
How often do you go to the library?
I go to the library quite often.
Well, don't you want your library to function?
I,
So rather than punish them,
But they're functioning with what they have. They're functioning with less than they ask for every year.
I would
But
like a
everything's
library that
going
was
up.
functional. I've just joined the library in various capacities, and I can see that it's becoming a very important part of this culture of this town. And I would like to see it run. This big item of concern seems to me this damn porta potties, and let's go there again.
no, that's not the concern.
You mean they don't want them to spend $2,100 in media because they only spent $484 last year?
But we,
When you
Whatever
have,
it is.
when you have $3,000 left over that you did not spend in the library budget, yes, that gives me concern, because why should I give you $2,000 more, so you get $5,000 more in your budget? And for
Well, I'm
years,
sorry, I disagree with you, Ed, so let's not go there.
no, I've just given you a point, and you don't want to hear it because
I don't want to have the library penalised for mismanagement at the expense of the town. And if the budget that has been presented has expenses in it that are perfectly reasonable and justifiable. With the, dare I mention it, if they solve the water potty problem more economically, and it won't cost $2,040 a year, but 35 times 12 or whatever you're saying.
right,
But I mean, if they're having to buy, I don't know, buying a porta potty, that's got to be thrown in.
well, Selectman took and just said that he located one on his phone for $700 and something. That would cut down the cost, because it's all of a sudden there's this big thing, this portable toilet that's there is non-functional and everything else. And you brought it up, I was not going to bring it up, you brought it up, so.
No, you brought it up incessantly, more than once in the past.
Early on, my thing right now is the library did not
All
spend.
right, what do you want for that line item that you think is reasonable?
I'm not taking any line item, I'm just saying that bottom line that the budget committee came up with is, should be enough. And then next year, if they take and they spend all that
Bottom line
money,
that they
and
came
they
up
can
with
show
for
that
this
they
year
need more, then so be
considerably
it.
higher.
So basically what we're talking about between the 2022 appropriation and the amount that was actually spent for the year is a difference of $2,972.
How do you feel about
And that's-
splitting that?
And that's,
I'm trying to look at this one.
What Sandy just said, 2,900.
The difference between before the gross basis and their total expenditures is 16,902. So that's a difference of 29,72. I'm looking at the grand total figure.
may I speak?
Yep.
Regarding the media budget, Andrew wrote, our actuals are less this year because of confusion with reimbursement. We dipped into our savings accounts and gross basis more than what is sustainable. I don't think that's good English, but anyway. We could call Andrew, he's probably home by now.
He should have came.
Well, he had to do a thing for work. But yeah, I wish he had been here.
If it's about the portable toilets, no.
No, I'm not picking that fight again. That's what I want to fight.
Please no.
So, my opinion, supplies and miscellaneous should probably go up. We got librarians filling ink cartridges with what looks like heroin
Oh, let's
needles.
not do that again. She did that because she wanted to. She was so proud that she saved us so much money. Let's stop making that sound like they're suffering through something.
But if she saved us all that money, and you don't want her to do it again, then we need more money because she was saving us money before.
So she could still do it.
Caitlin was
That's it.
so proud that she
We don't
figured
have
that
her
out.
anymore, we got a new
So
one.
proud.
You don't
She's
have
got like
one.
5
don't have
hypodermic
one.
needles that she's just, and has it written out in middle fingers. Like, Jesus Christ.
How do we not have any of that library stuff in the town report?
But there was a whole confusion last year about the amount of money that was came from other sources for the library. Because we took the wrong number, we took the whole of the capital instead of the engendered interest. We took $3,000 and it should have been more like $800. I just think it's very bad to give a department insufficient funds to manage.
But it's not insufficient.
Right, not when they, when they don't spend $3,000 of their budget.
They're asking for
So-
23,290. We don't want they can do without 3,000, so make it 20,290.
I sat down with every single town report I have in my house, which goes back to 2010. And I have budgets that are over or under by 10%. There are 10 hashtags next to the library for underspent by 10% or more since 2010.
That was my husband being frugal.
Bring them back.
They operate, they've expanded how many different new clubs and other things going on, and they
And it's
still
still-
manage to come in
exactly,
under budget.
yes.
We're not cutting them off at the knees by not giving them more. We're saying, you've got enough. And like I said, last year, we agreed for the first time in I don't know how long, the selectmen said, let's increase this budget. Yes, they spent a lot of time putting together a strategic plan. They have a vision, they're going somewhere. Let's make sure they have the money to do it. And again, it didn't get spent.
We'll spend more.
I've heard that for 3 years. I don't know how many times George said that. Okay, we'll spend more. We'll spend every penny we have. No, we
Never
didn't.
happens.
No.
Wages is a hard cost. And, I would be inclined to increase that line item. Not by much, $1,500.
I myself think the library at this point has so many problems that it needs to take care of. They get no librarian. They're already talking about giving the librarian a raise, but they haven't even gotten one yet. exactly, so how many librarians are we gonna keep losing? You get good ones in there, and then boom, they leave.
We should have one by the 16th of this month, the
You hope,
library director.
you hope.
It's looking like we will. I mean, we will.
For how long? That's the other
Well,
question.
Well,
I
need
said,
somebody
where do you
to
see
commit
yourself
themselves to working
in
there
five-
for 25 years.
Catherine, she's talking, I'm trying to hear her.
I said where to the would-be library director, where do you see yourself? I said 3 years, 3 years from now. I didn't dare say 5. Because, well, anyway, and she plans, well, our one candidate plans to stick around.
But
So
they-
did Stacy, so did Caitlin.
Right, exactly.
Neither one of them anticipated doing it for just a little short period of time before they were fed up with not being supported by the library trustees and having Fogle run the show.
Well, I think we have to assume that, you know, there is a position that we have to pay a wage at this point in time.
But something that you have to remember is we can't set the wage.
No, I'm not interested in setting a wage.
No, I know, but I mean,
Nothing to do
it's
with
just, they have, the library trustees have total control over whatever the wage is.
Mhm. Yeah, just like for the highway department, you know, having to
No.
increase our
The
salaries.
librarian's its own entity.
So that was the-
Library's separate, whereas the highway has to go through the select board in order to increase the wage.
Well, even though the library may be its own entity, it still can make that decision to increase a wage in
But
order
we
to
have to-
attract
Yes,
someone.
they can.
Yes, but that's just the library trustees.
Right,
We
so,
have to get approval from the select board.
No, you don't.
No, we don't.
Well, then why?
No, you don't, because we need paperwork, we need a paper trail, we have employee files, that's what we
Right.
need you to do.
Right,
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, no, the library trustees can pay the librarian whatever they want. And nobody else can take it.
Well, we could
Say-
just put an increase in the budget saying we're going to pay the library, but direct to 50,000.
But the librarians you had have been good librarians, but there's reasons within the group that they don't stay, and it's a crying shame. We've lost so many good librarians, and it's like, she says, well, we have one now that's willing to come back and look at the stay for 3 years. And then what happens after they get in there and find all this stuff that's going on, and then after 3 months, they say, oh, I'm burnt out, I can't stand this, this goes on, I don't like that, I say something, nothing happens.
It's the nature of the economy.
I was surprised Caitlin didn't walk the day they talked about that cake day. And Andrew said, well, you guys work it out, come back next month and tell me. If that was me, I would have walked right then. How many times can you come and beg your bosses to have your back on something and they don't?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But that has nothing to do with the budget, really.
Well, it does in a sense, because
It does if we have to pay more money for a
for
new
a
librarian.
librarian, that's only, that may only stay for 3 months.
And did we not give a raise in the budget anyway, in the
Mhm.
amount of money? It seems like Andrew asked for 3.5%, 3 to 5% raise.
And
you know, we reduced that figure.
Did we do that? The way I see it here is you don't have all your ducks in a row yet.
Correct.
Probably if we could see an improvement, we might be willing to go that route and give you more money, but it's, whoever is running the show, it's up and down all the time as opposed to on an even keel. That's what it looks like. And we've got to solve that issue with people that think they should be able to run the library and they shouldn't be. That's probably your biggest issue.
I
Well,
see.
you can't solve that
the trustees
No,
can.
until next year.
Well, if you, I guess if you show us that the problem has been solved and we're going to be able to keep our librarian, that we would be willing to give you more money.
But you mean outside the budget? Where's the more money coming from?
Not now, more money next year. It looks like an earthquake has happened there, and you haven't picked it up yet. Haven't
With
cleaned
the
it up
library?
yet.
Yeah.
It's right on top. No?
I support the library. I think
know.
it's important and great to have. We're a poor town.
I messed up.
We should have,
I haven't
the
touched
kids
it,
should
that's
be
why I
able to
keep going
access
through
the
it.
books,
It's
they should be able to access the computers. I am in support of that. But show me that things are running smoothly and you've got your you-know-what together and
Did things ever run smoothly in this dimension?
it hasn't run smoothly in the past 3 years, I'd say, because someone else is controlling things.
Meaning?
Read between the lines. Read between the lines. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, maybe you could do a 50-50 compromise to make sure they've got something to get their ducks in a row without rewarding them totally.
But they already have $3,000 from this year that they didn't spend to get their ducks in a row. So what I'm saying is, show me that you've got your ducks in a row, and I'd be more than willing to support you.
But they have line items which say that things are going to cost more.
Well,
And you would prevent them from acquiring any of them by cutting.
well, the fuel line, I guess I'd be okay with that.
So we gave them 16,624 last year. They didn't spend 3,000 of it, and this year we're giving them 18,200. So we're actually giving them more money
More
this
for
year
fuel.
Right.
than last year anyways.
Yeah,
And now here you are wanting even more money.
Right, I kind of have to agree with what Maureen's saying, is show that the library can take and operate, and with all this BS that's going on, and show that there's going to be a librarian that's going to take its say, and that the trustees are going to back the librarian, instead of
If the librarian that they find is still here next year, you can say exactly the same thing. You've only been here a year, we can't believe you're going to stay.
But it's a starting point, and we can look at the rest of the, what the library has done.
I mean,
I'm not a great admirer of what they've done, and I don't want to take away the wherewithal for them to do better,
Oh, well,
if they are going to turn any leaf.
I saw that with Caitlin there, that they're on a roll. There was more community spirit, more things going on, it was working great. What happened? Make that what happened go away and you'll run smoothly, and next year will probably be more supportive.
Just to throw a number out there, and I'm not, shut up.
Excuse me.
What you spent last year for 2022, you had $450 appropriated for restrooms. You only spent $299.60. So you have a line item in your budget for portable toilets of
I thought we were done talking about
Yes.
stuff.
I'm just going down through it, yes, it was.
I think we need to make t-shirts.
I survived the great porta potty this.
Right.
There you go,
Yes.
yeah.
It's all about the quantity.
There's a lot to be said for a new library that's going to have a bathroom.
yes, here, here.
So. What are you saying
Go on ahead.
about that?
I think that the present budget that we gave should take and suffice for this year, and for them to try to improve so that every year the librarian doesn't leave and there's less controversy within the library. There was a comment made that really disturbed me. It came from one of the librarians in town. And they left because they said that the rules that they were given also dictated that they had to follow Fogel. Fogel had an interpretation of following the librarian. And I was taken back when I was, yeah,